Fast forward, eating come watch on so age politics avenue. Political stores are training makers making headlines. Najembre na EDB Aksumo, and EDB Nya Braximu, Mr. Say, young Queen Simu. Omea Queen Sima. Honorable Adutwum, and now Otimi identity. Quenya Nipa Bonfubi. A fast so umbitimi a genuine everything sem abra when you be abone. On one cassa recounte. Say the car with Tima Neko. Gunshot, it may penetrate into the windscreen. Impo, shoot 2 years to the stand say, it be it me car na tie. Ama, ni driver ni chifa swa, ama okudina advantage place be. Answer. Kissing na intela, papano, egada no say enemies from within. You mong yen when ye ko, and that's what Jim.
I didn't know how life was going to turn out. I came, talk about free senior high school implementation, some bold ideas that we had to employ to make sure, communicate on it, go around the country. One of my journeys back from Boko, Bupe, my car was shot at, literally killed on the line of duty. When I went to the Bupe police station, they said it has never happened before. Nobody has ever shot into a government vehicle because they know you don't carry money. Normally they will attack traders, not somebody in a Land Cruiser. I almost lost my life.
You think it was possibly a targeted assassination?
I don't know. But all that I know was that the side of my car who I said was bullet ridden. I saw these people who had mask on. So we turned a corner, we saw them with their mask on, then they started shooting. My driver was do a zigzag, go this way, come this way to dodge the bullets. It was a very difficult day. And we escaped that. Remember, Chief of Staff being on the phone with me throughout the night to make sure I had arrived safely in Kumasi. When we got to the Bupe police station and we stopped, that is when the tie went flat. They shot into the tie non-stop so that they could stop us there. So I was almost killed in the line of duty for this country.
But I mean, let's help us understand what informed that decision to change your model this time around, especially going for the presidential primary before all other ones.
Well, basically, we never thought we would get such a result. It was a bit of a shock, and we've always believed in doing the right thing at the right time. But this time around, we got a few things not right. And when you are where we were, and coming now all the way to 87, MPs, then you want to realize that there's something wrong. And so you do need to take a good look at the situation and see how best, going forward, what you can do to correct the situation. You see, basically, every political party, or you form a political party, to win elections so that you can implement your ideas, your philosophy, and what have you, and the rest. Now, when it comes to the time when, for one reason or the other, you lose power, then it means you are not doing too well. And so it was important that we took a step back, take a look at what had happened, and see, going forward, how we gather ourselves. They always say, our elders say too, that falling down is natural sometimes, but how you get up is what's important. So we had to examine how we were going to get up, get ourselves out of this, the little hole that we have found ourselves in. And I believe that was that informed the decision of the majority, and I say the majority of the people at that particular council meeting to do a bit of palongo dance and let us take the leader first. There are a whole lot of reasons, but that was what it was.
But I mean, there are those who say that if you look at the New Patriotic Party, the UP tradition, there are some who say that currently if they look at the party, they are not able to recognize the party that contested for election for the first time in 1992. They say a lot has changed. When you look at the NPP, do you recognize that same party with the UP traditions?
Quite a few things have changed. But for me personally, what is difficult for me to accept is the fact that when the PNDC was in power, the soldiers disrupted our onward march to prosperity. We fought like nobody's business. We really fought hard to try and correct the situation. Here we are eventually, with the assistance from some friends, we managed to correct the situation, go into democratic rule. And then when we have now fought for all this, it so turns out that the party who were insistent on keeping Rawlings and his group in power now use the same sort of result that we have achieved now to rule us. And initially, we found that things were not what they should have been, because going back to 1992, when we boycotted the elections for the parliamentary elections, we just decided, and I remember our chairman, Mr. Darocha, may he rest in peace, saying, we will do business. We did business and eventually came into the Fourth Republic and what we had done. So it's painful. It's painful. But as I said, never say die, as they say. And we are going to do everything possible to make sure that the party reorganizes itself and then go on for the elections in 2028. And what really we are doing as the Council of Elders, which you referred to, is to make sure that things are done properly, that the elections are free, fair, and what have you, so that nobody can complain. Because we have suffered. This is not the first time. We've suffered. I remember in 2008, was it? 2008, we had a bit of difficulty, little difficulty, and I personally believe that the reason why we could not break the 8 at that time was because there was a few splinter groups around the place and we were not together. So what we have to do now is to make sure we bring everybody on board. We stay together, work together, and God willing, we should be able then to change the parameters, and change the geography, change the situation. We haven't given up at all, but what we are seeking to do, they always ask, when problems come into a society, where are the elders? Where are the elders? Then there comes a time to when the young people say, oh, they are of no use. And when there are problems, they ask, where are the elders? So we believe that the elders now should work harder than before, and make sure that the young, the old, the middle-aged, all of us get together to be able to fight proper electoral fight clean. But what we want is a level playing field, not anything that is skewed for the government in power. That is absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and it's not to be done. You read the newspapers, a lot of things happened, and for us, one or two people, they arrest them. One or two people, they interrogate them. But then we also saw what happened from the other side, from the government side, and nothing was done. That's not how to run a democracy, no. So we insist that things must be done properly. And at the appropriate time, the elections will be carried through. And for now, we believe that we've made our point, and we are hoping that both the government, the security agencies, the Electoral Commission, all of them would see what the point that we are making. And so these are issues that we are now doing the little things around the whole, around the parameters, and then see precisely going forward what we'll do.
Yeah. Now, talking about fair playing ground, there are lots of concerns about the money involved in this race, especially the presidential flag-bearership race, where some say that you're already charging 100,000 Ghana cedis for nomination form, and some 500,000 Ghana cedis for filing fee. And there are those who are also saying that you are hoping to charge an additional amount, which your party referred to as development fee. And many have said that that could serve as sort of like a financial or monetary barrier in this whole race. But you speak of offering a fair playing ground. Don't you think that this is actually blocking some people from contesting?
Isaac, I agree with you that the monetization of the electoral process in Ghana, both sides actually, is not the best. You might have somebody who is smart, brilliant, can go forward, and he hasn't got the money, so the wherewithal, so he doesn't come forward and win. Right now, what we are doing is that because we don't have too much money, we have to make sure that those and what we have to do to...
But you're a party that just left power 9 months ago. How come you don't have money?
But, I mean, the party, to a large extent, is different from the government. So when we say we are in power, no, that shows that when we're in party, when we're in government, we did not sort of push money bags to the party. If we did, we would have that much money.
So are you charging the development fee because you feel the NPP is broke at the moment and you need some funds?
Fee, in a way, yes. I mean, the result there for all these things are embodied in the fact that we have monetized the electoral process here. And that is why we are trying to do what we call the expansion. The limited, so we couldn't do it immediately because time was not of the essence and was not at our disposal. But we said we would do the limited expansion, bring in a whole lot of people so that paying money to get the vote will be difficult. And that's what we are trying to do. And I believe that it will work.
The charging of the development fee, is this the first time the party is bringing this out, or it's always been there?
No, it's been there, but it's not been significant. It's not been an issue. And I think in the past it's been reasonably small, not to bother anybody.
How much are we talking about in 2026?
Right now, the elections committee are the ones who can tell you how much they're charging, because the National Council decided that the elections committee would indicate the so-called development fee.
But I mean, reading the guidelines you put out for the race, I thought it was the national elders and the council who are supposed to sets this development fee? So you don't have any idea of how much candidates or aspirants are expected to pay?
Little confusion, which I must try and explain. You see, we have the National Council, which is the second highest body in the organization. We have the conference, number one. Then we have the National Council. Then we have the National Executive. Then we come to the Steering Committee. But the National Council of Elders is absolutely different from the National Council. So that decision was taken by the National Council and not the National Council of Elders. But when you become a bit lazy in your verbiage, in what you say, instead of saying National Council of Elders, people say National Council. No. The National Council is a much bigger body. And the National Council of Elders are composed of those who have served in the past with distinction and who have worked well and who are now there to advise the party. And when things go bad, they have to...
But you're the chairman of the Council of Elders. You don't have an idea of how much the development fee will be?
The development fee is the prerogative of the Elections Committee.
How much are they charging now?
Well, I'm not a candidate.
But you should know you are the chairman of the National Council of Elders.
Well, is it everything in an organization, that you sort of say?
But this is a requirement, right? It's a requirement, it's part of the requirement that the aspirants are expected to meet. And a lot of them, they have concerns that they may be disqualified based on their inability to pay this amount of money.
Yes, if we have...
Some are quoting 4.6, some are saying 5 million, some are saying 15 million. How much is the development fee?
When you have a situation where we say that the development levy is compulsory, it's part of the package of your submission to the Elections Committee.
So at this moment, is it compulsory?
It is. If you don't pay, as far as I understand, if you don't pay the, what they call
development levy?
Development levy, then it means your documents are not complete. So it's almost going to the Electoral Commission and they say 100,000 and say I haven't paid. Then you paper.
So are you going to disqualify aspirants based on their inability to pay development fee?
Well, sometimes you must also be realistic and practical and pragmatic. If there was not that element, once upon a time we had 17 people.
Yeah.
If there was not that element, this time maybe you may get 20, 30. And sometimes a matter of winning and taking out some of the people. But if you are good and you have carried yourself properly and people believe that you can lead the party, end result, they come together and get the funds to help you. If you go back to 1992, for example, we had been in the wilderness for 30 years, our party. But when we needed to work, we went round. We sweat like nobody's business, and then went from place to place, and then eventually put money together, and were able to pay the fees and also pay. Running an electoral campaign is expensive. You have to go to every nook and corner of this country. If you don't do that, the others will say you have sort of slighted them. And so you have to go, and it's expensive. So we then try to do it. So let's put it this way. If any of the contestants has the confidence of the majority of people who belong to our party, they will contribute to help pay the fee that is being prescribed by the Elections Committee.
So in this instance, are you taxing the party members to fund candidates or aspirants to be able to go through the race?
No, we're not asking them. We're saying, the National Council, i.e. the party, because after the conference comes the National Council. The National Council is saying, if you want to be a candidate, there are 3 fees to pay. So if you pay 2 and there's 1 outpaying, that means you haven't qualified. And all that we are saying that whatever the amount is, find it and come and pay at the closing date. When they ring the bell, that's it. I mean, if you have not been able to pay, then you are not. No.
Let's look at the timeline. 136 days more to go. How do you expect all 5 aspirants to raise over 4.6 million Ghana cedis?
Well, you are saying
development fees.
4.6, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I am not saying.
So how much are we looking at?
I don't know until they come to us and bring us the report. I don't know, but it's not difficult.
But it's a key requirement that your council will look at in terms of disqualifying some of the candidates. So how come you, as the chairman of the National Council, you don't know about how much candidates are expected to pay as development fees?
Basically, Isaac, there are a few things that must always remain in the bedroom, not in the front room. So really, it doesn't mean that I have no idea at all. But in as much as it's not my responsibility to announce that figure, I want to skip and let that cup pass by and let those that are charged with that responsibility so deliver.
This looks like it's one of the key, burdens of some of the candidates. This is Kwabena Eje Japan, who said, quote, "There is a subtle attempt to bring back a fee that was rejected at the National Executive Committee meeting. At that meeting, some regional chairmen even suggested 10 million Ghana cedis, and another said 5 million.
We ain't some who do Tim Coso, our channel so. Mamma so jembre, that's a net of body in the Dumbi Edomania. Ibesen shame near Sumo Kwansong Sukra, AGH Politics Avenue.